our transportation system and doing it in a real and honest way. And I've heard that wherever I go. I mean, I've been working this state nonstop. And every business leader, large and small, knows that we're going to get out of this economic rut we've been in. We got to fix our transportation system. Every labor leader I know, and all the folks who are working, all the trades, they know these means good paying jobs, good paying labor jobs to get this state moving again for our future. And that's true of the superintendents of schools and mayors and everybody else. I also know the middle class feels like they're getting slammed. But I tell you, somebody else who agrees this how important this is going forward, you know, that's the Republicans. I mean, this prioritized progress thing, you know, they have said, look, we agree, we're going to need $700 to $800 million more a year in order to bring our roads and bridges up to a state of good repair, speed up our rail system, fix the mixed master, fix the viaduct, get Metro North moving again, and get the state moving. Republicans and Democrats agree on that, I think. That said, you know, we have a very different strategy about how we pay for it. You know, they want to borrow it. They've been blunt. They say they want to put it on the credit card. Another $700 million a year on that credit card. Just the type of thing that got us into the fiscal mess, you know, we find ourselves in. Look, you saw the U.S. News and World Report the other day. It just came out. They said things are getting better in Connecticut. You know, we're at the top in terms of quality of life. We're doing really well in education. But we're really hurting when it comes to getting our fiscal house in order and transportation. And that's what we got to do. I owe you something else. I mean, I put some of you in a pickle because I ran for office, and you know, I said I think we can do this probably with trucks. We get started with just on trucks only tolling. We could do it just like Gina was doing there in Rhode Island. We'll have some clarity from them pretty soon in Rhode Island. That's what I said a year ago. Well, a year later, there's no clarity in terms of what's going on in Rhode Island. We don't know what the legal situation is going to be there on trucks only, and it probably doesn't raise the money we need to get the job done. And I just don't want us to nickel and dime this any longer. I know there's a little tendency in this building, maybe we can delay this a little bit longer, maybe just a little bit of borrowing, maybe we can, whoa. We can borrow this, maybe we can study a little bit longer, we can. You know, our time is now. And I'll tell you something else. I know that I put you in a tough vote. It's the most important vote you're going to take. And I'm going to be standing there with each and every one of you. I'm going to be putting my shoulder to the wheel. You know, Roland and I were down in New Haven the other day. You were great, by the way. You made that case loud and clear in terms of what we got to do going forward. We're going to be raising money for this caucus. I'm going to have the business guys coming in and taking your back. If the Republicans say, oh my God, look what they've done on transportation. Labor's going to be there standing up for you, and I'll be standing up for you. And I took the battle right to him, what was that, a couple of days ago, though. I was there in Norwalk. I was talking to a friendly audience. Everybody knew what we had to do when it comes to fixing the transportation system. And a little boring. Everybody agreed with me. So I was driving my way home, and I saw the, shut down Bergstein, Mesker's a mess, no tolls, all that sort of town hall. I couldn't stop myself. You know, I walked into that room, and everybody got quiet. Then they started talking a little bit faster, a little bit nervously, and they finally kindly said, Governor, would you like to say something? And I said, I think I would. And I gave him the same thing I've just told you, how it's an incredibly important vote. I don't want anybody stuck in it. And then, who's that guy that leads the No Tolls movement? What's his name again? Sasser.
My buddy.
Yeah, Sasser, Joe's friend. He goes, hey, Governor, what do I tell the guy who's got the 3 oil trucks, and he's got 2 kids, and he's having a hard time, and you want him to pay some tolls? And I said, why don't you try telling him the truth? Tell him the truth.
Yep.
What is your plan right now? Your plan is either A, do nothing, the same thing we've done for the last 30 years, and tell him that means that it's going to take, in the last 15 years, it takes him 20 minutes longer for him to do the route. You want to wait another 10 years, it'll take him 20 minutes longer still. You want to tell him that? You can maybe tell them if we have the same type of economic growth in the next 10 years we've had in the last 10, his child's not going to be there. They'll be in New York, or they'll be in someplace else. Or maybe they got a kid who lives near I-95 where due to the smog and the congestion on the highway, the asthma's at an all-time high. See if that's what he wants to do. Or why don't you tell him you want to go with the Republican plan and just put it all on the credit card and just borrow this so you can pay and his kids can pay 100% plus interest over the next 40 years if his kids are either around. Why don't you tell them those are the two options you put on the table? Well, I put forward an honest option. It's not an easy vote. It's a user fee paid for by the folks that use the cars, use the roads. It's a fee that's going to be collected via electronic tolling like everybody else on the Eastern Seaboard. I understand the people are getting squeezed. I know what that means. We've been very clear what we're going to try and do on that. We can give a credit on your Easy Pass, so everybody of the working families, we can preload that $5 or $10 a month to make that easier for them. We can give those maximum discounts. We can reduce the price of bus fare to $1 to make it easier for people in our cities and otherwise to get around, get more people out of the cars, get some of those big trucks off the road at rush hour. It's not an easy vote, but it's the right vote. And I really need you all to stand up. I know Finance Committee did the right thing today, for which I'm very appreciative. And let's keep going. And look, maybe the Senate can use a little push from the House sometimes with these things. Let them know what you're doing. Let's do it for me. Anyway, look, thank you for letting me to interrupt this nice gathering here tonight. It's really important to me. I'm working my heart out for it. I'll be working my heart out for each and every one of you. Back to you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Governor.